Hello everyone, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the second half banners of 3.4. The 5-star characters of the second half banners will be Hu Tao and Yelan, with the 4 stars being Xingqiu, Beidou, and Ningguang. I'm going to talk about the 5 stars first, and then I'm going to talk about the 4 stars later. First, let's talk about Hu Tao. Hu Tao is a 5-star pyro polearm user that specializes in doing continuous pyro damage from her charged attack and her elemental burst. She scales off HP and can deal a huge amount of pyro damage with dealing vape or melt. So the way that she works is that whenever you proc her elemental skill, she goes into a stance change, infusing her polearm with pyro. And whenever you hit enemies with a charge attack, it applies the Blood Blossom, which is basically a mark that deals pyro damage over time, and she gains resistance to interruption. And she loses 30% of her current HP. Her elemental skill goes well with her passive, where if Hu Tao's HP is equal to or less than 50%, her pyro damage bonus is increased by 33%. And her elemental burst basically grabs the tail of her ghost friend and whips them around, where she deals pyro damage to any enemy within 360 radius of her. Also, when you use her elemental burst, she does gain some health back. Also, if her HP is equal or less than 50%, then both the damage and HP regeneration are increased from her elemental burst. Hu Tao is a very strong unit when using her in elemental reactions. Personally, I don't really play her that much, but she is a very strong unit based on her scalings. So if you are looking for a strong unit, especially like Hu Tao, who is pyro that can utilize melt and vaporize, then Hu Tao is a very solid option. Her artifacts are basically straightforward, like either using the pyro set or using maybe Shimanawas if you don't really feel like using her burst. But a mix of 2-piece is also fine as well. Moving on to Yelan. Yelan is a hydro user that specializes in doing continuous hydro damage from her elemental burst and some from her elemental skill. Her elemental skill basically puts her in the stance where she rushes towards an enemy. If you tap it, she moves forward for a certain distance swiftly. But if you hold her elemental skill, she can continuously run around, and whenever you are near an enemy, whenever you use her elemental skill, she will apply a mark. And when she's out of her stance when you're done using her elemental skill, this mark will explode doing hydro damage. The damage of her elemental skill scales off her max HP. When talking about her elemental burst, basically is similar to like Xingqiu, where she does AoE hydro damage first and then transforming into a dice that spawns beside your character, and whenever your character deals normal attacks, it will spawn these hydro arrows that will automatically auto target towards the nearest enemy, dealing a lot of hydro damage based on Yelan's max HP. Now, even though she is very similar to like Xingqiu, I think what separates her a little bit is her passives, where whenever the party has up to 4 different elements, her max HP is increased even further. And as long as her elemental burst is in play, your active character deals 1% more damage and increases further by 3.5% every second, where the maximum increase to damage dealt is 50%. Yelan's artifacts is also very simple. She basically wants emblem. Not only does ER benefit her, but also having that 4-piece set can make her burst very strong. Now, similar to like Hu Tao, Yelan is a very good character that has very good scalings, allowing you to deal a whole load of hydro damage. Just because she works like Xingqiu doesn't mean she's better. In certain team comps, Yelan doesn't really work well with Hu Tao if you decide to like pull for both characters, compared to applying hydro like using Xingqiu with Hu Tao instead. But nonetheless, because of her good scalings and because how she functions, she is a very strong unit and also another solid option in pulling and making your account better. And now moving on to the 4 stars, first starting with Xingqiu, because Xingqiu is also a very similar character to like Yelan that has been out since day 1. Even though Xingqiu is better in terms of synchronizing with characters like Hu Tao and other pyro units, that still doesn't discredit how valuable Yelan can be for your account. But if you already have Xingqiu from like either the event or from just playing the game, then you don't really need to prioritize pulling for Yelan, because Xingqiu is still a very good unit. But having both units is also really good in terms of having 2 strong units to overall improve your account. Xingqiu's artifacts can also be the same. He also wants emblem, and also having a lot of energy can be very good, but 2-piece noblesse and 2-piece hydro does work very well. Moving on to Beidou. Beidou is also a very strong unit. She can deal very good electro damage from her elemental burst. She can also consistently apply electro as well. She's very good in team comps that utilizes electro reactions, except for like Hyper Bloom, because her electro application doesn't really hit the seeds that are on the ground, so that kind of sucks. But nonetheless, she is a very good unit as well. And as for Ningguang, she is not that great compared to the other two, mainly because one, she's Geo, and one, she's a Geo DPS. She's not really utilized a lot in a lot of different team comps that doesn't use Geo, kind of like Ito, where she really wants a lot of Geo supports to make her strong. You can make her a Geo DPS, but again, she's not really worth building in my opinion, so I wouldn't really recommend building her. But nonetheless, looking at the character banners, these banners look pretty good. Honestly, the 2 5-stars are really strong. As for the 4-stars, 2 of them are very good, one of them being one of the best characters in the game. So overall, these banners are very good and very valuable for your account to pull on. When moving on to the weapon banner, the 5-star weapons are going to be Staff of Homa and Aqua of Simulacra. When talking about Staff of Homa, first, I think it's the most popular polearm amongst the other 5-stars, mainly because the main stat is crit damage. And the passive is really nice for HP scaling characters like Hu Tao and maybe Zhongli. And it's also good for other characters that want a damage stat instead, like Zhao. Overall, a good 5-star option. When talking about the 5-star Aqua Bow, a lot of people will say it's a big increase for Yelan, but honestly, it's not that massive of an increase compared to like the Favonius Warbow. Because you get the free Favonius Warbow from just playing the game, you don't really need to go for Aqua for Yelan, because not only does it give you energy for your other party members, but it also gives you a lot of energy to increase your damage if you were to put Yelan on the emblem set, which would decrease the energy requirements that you want to have on Yelan compared to like just going for crit stats for Yelan or HP. But nonetheless, it is a good option, but not that massive compared to what a lot of people say. But overall, if you were to pull on the weapon banner, it is good weapons, but not really that necessary. It is the weapon banner. So when looking at all of the banners, they're pretty good honestly. The character banners are very strong, they're very solid in terms of character choices, and the weapon banners, even though I say they're not necessary, but they are solid options if you do decide to roll on it. So in the end, I would say these banners are pretty valuable to roll on your account. If you found this video helpful and you want to see more, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on the video. Also, check me out on Twitch, the link will be in the description below. That's it for today. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.